What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing well. We are back with a faster car. That is right. We have the R35 GTR. Now, this one was from a poll that won, man, probably a couple months back. I definitely got to start doing polls again. Not just for this game, but for other things too, because I think it's really fun to see. And we are going up against a Boss 302 and a V12 Vantage, which was also another car this car was going up against in the polls. And let's see if I made the better decision. And I gotta say, this car so far, it's a B class right now, which honestly is kind of ironic how this car, when I first started playing, tier 3, really, man, you got to do that? Tier 3, I wanted it so bad, and it turned out to be a garbage car. In fact, this car was such a trash car. Basically, all the cars in OG World, like the first batch of cars that were ever released. In terms of tier 3 cars, I think the only car that was good was the M3 GTR. And the M3 GTR was like, it made sense because that car costed like 2 million IGC, and it was so much better than all the other cars. Man, what a time. What a time that the street version of the M3 GTR was the fastest car. Man, that car is like completely forgotten about now. And whoa, man, come on. But I gotta say, this new GTR that they, that's been retuned from OG, so much better, so much nicer. I think this might be nicer than the V12 Vantage. Though I haven't driven that car in quite a bit. But man, this car is pretty good, especially compared to the competition. Our competition right now, man, we came back from a third place all the way to, looks like it's about to be a convincing win. Just gotta make sure that these dudes don't be spamming NOS, And we are heading. Oh, this is like a weird like circuit sprint track. Interesting. But we got the dub. Good job, GTR. Honestly, it is such a nice car, and it's finally so nice to get a car that's relatively fast. Now we got, and another good thing about having a faster car, and look at this, nice pickup. Another thing about having a faster car is that I'm able to actually have an okay experience driving around in free roam for treasure hunt. And for team escapes, man, I decided to get an SUV. Now this is an old friend of ours. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about this car's existence. And because of the fact that I do remember this car, I do gotta say it's the most underrated car out of all the cars I've driven. Not really anymore, because it's been changed up and kind of been giving more realistic performance. However, man, the Porsche Cayenne, when it first came out, one, it was overshadowed, I'm pretty sure, by the Sard. But this car, A-Class, was a beast. Granted, it was actually the lightest car in the game, which is so ironic because it's the SUV, but the way the car was, it was the heaviest car in stock, but it was the lightest car when upgraded. And that thing was such a monster. Man, I wish I created more videos on the car, because there were so many races I did where I even went up against S-Class cars, and the car was so fire. The car was so fire that I was beating CCXRs. I vividly remember this one race where I was from behind, and like I caught up to all the S-Class cars. It was a Zonda, a CCXR, and there were like a couple other cars, and I was the only A-Class car. And man, why did I use this jug? It was so pointless. But I was the only A-Class car, and I remember I caught up to those dudes in the corners with this thing. Like, does that even make sense? This car being able to pick up pace in the corners? Yeah, nah. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But I do gotta say, this was the most fun car. No, actually, no, not really. It would be the first retuned version of the M3 GTR. That's the most fun I ever had with a car. This would be the second most fun car, and this would probably be tied with the Z-Tune as my second favorite car. And man, I really do wish the old tune still existed, because that car was so ridiculous. It was just so ridiculous to look at. You know, it was an SUV, but it was just fast, and it wasn't just fast. It was one of the fastest. It was an A-class meta car. It was, when people saw that thing in the leaderboards, they were like, "What, the Cayenne?" Because no one ever thought about the Cayenne being fast, and I think even to this day, not many people, when it was one of the fastest A-class cars, they didn't even know, because it's an SUV. Like, first of all, no one really cares about SUVs. And another thing is, like, no one's ever gonna think, "Oh yeah, what's a fast car?" Especially for a player who doesn't know anything about like the meta cars, or like they don't like look on Discord, for example, or the leaderboards. People probably just gloss over the car. They'll probably think, "Oh, it's just a good like Team Escape car, and whatever. Let me go with something else." And then they meet one in A-class, and it demolishes. Now, the one thing I do gotta remember, I remember on A-class, in order to get it up there, it was really expensive. Like, it was a super expensive car to really upgrade. So I think altogether, especially when with the economy back then, it was much harder to get money. And cars like, for example, the Zonda F, Skyline, those cars only costed maybe a couple million. Well, the Skyline was a little bit hard to upgrade, but for example, a car like the Zonda F, which is a really cheap car to get the A-class, only a couple million. This car, I'm pretty sure, costed well over 25 mil, which 25 mil is still a lot in the world economy. However, it is way easier to make 25 mil than it was back then. So for many people, because of the fact also it is kind of an unattractive car compared to other things, I think it's an okay looker. However, no one would really want to be driving an SUV. So there's that other factor. So with that, this car was such a niche. And yeah, like, and then it got retuned, I'm pretty sure, at some point, because I don't see this thing on any A-class meta car list or the leaderboard, so I assume it got retuned. My first time driving it in a lower class, and it's an okay car right now. It's not like a boat. It doesn't feel like a boat, it can't turn at all. However, yeah, I mean, I don't have no, you see, I gotta really get my power-ups up so I can use Jug and then smash this thing. And shout out to TC, man. TC, yeah, that's I gotta say, that's my favorite C-Class car, especially for Team Escape. And we just got rid of the cops pretty quick. And that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. Hope you enjoyed my rant. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.